Shaz, your playing 11. I know it boils down to conditions. It's perhaps a little too predictive in nature, but some of the tough calls that India are to make, moving to Nagpur, you've seen enough cricket there, you sort of expect the conditions. What is the playing 11 and what would the ultimate narrative of this series come down to? The factors that will decide the end result.
See, I never predict a playing 11 till I see the pitch. Okay, and till I see the pitch an hour before the game, not the night before the game. You know, you'll have 11 or 12 players, things can change before the start of the game. Composition of the side, I can tell you, more or less. It'll be 3 spinners, and I can tell you those 3 spinners also, it'll be Ashwin, Jadeja, Kuldeep, I reckon, because Aksar and Jadeja are pretty much the same, and it'll be Siraj and Shami, you know, with the pace attack. You know, I would imagine, I know there's Umesh Yadav there, but it will be 3-2. And the choice that will be a tough one for them will be the keeper. You know, and that they'll have to decide who's the better keeper. And who is, I mean, they would be watching closely the management as to, you know, which is the keeper who is in prime form at the moment with the gloves, more than the bat. So that will make up my 11. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. There's Surya Kumar Yadav there in the middle. Otherwise, it's pretty much, you know, as expected.
Ian, final closing comments from you. From an Australian perspective, is it the big boys who have toured India before, who will have to, you know, sort of bring out the fires in their bellies? Will it be down to the Steve Smiths, the David Warners and the Pat Cummins and Lyons to do the heavy lifting if they are to finally scale the Everest, as it's now being called?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Australian batting lineup will be pretty straightforward, I would think. Obviously, there's a doubt about whether Green will be fit to bowl, but I think even if he can't bowl, he'll probably play as a batsman. So it's going to boil down to how well they play in India. And at this stage, the only bloke who's really had great success with the bat in India is Steve Smith. So the Australian batsman, and it doesn't matter who plays well and who helps you to win the series. A captain should not even worry about that because you're just going to be happy that you've won the series. Whoever's done it for you, that doesn't matter. So what the Australians are going to need, I think if you work on the basis that if your team scores 350 reasonably quickly, then you give your bowlers time to take the wickets. And as Ravi said, taking 20 wickets is the hardest thing to do in Test cricket, but it's the most important thing because you're not going to win a Test match unless you can take those 20 wickets. So, yes, you need the batsmen to play well. Yes, you'd prefer them to get 350. Yes, you'd prefer them to get those runs reasonably quickly. But it's going to boil down to the bowlers getting 20 wickets. And Cummins has got to find a way to get 20 wickets. And I don't think he should be too bothered about who gets them. If you run out 8 guys, don't be worried about that. You've got 8 fellas out.
Jatin, I just want to throw a spanner into the works, right? Because I said I have to see the pitch, I have to see the conditions. I'm not forgetting Gill, Shubman Gill, okay? I'll have a close eye on Shubman Gill the day before the game starts and seeing the conditions. So if I have to announce a 12, Gill won't be far.
Shaz, am I allowed a follow-up in this little teaser that you brought in right in the last second of this conversation?
To make it. Don't forget him because don't forget the last 2 innings he played against Australia. In Melbourne, he batted beautifully when India won. And at the Gabba, it was his innings that really set up the game. That 90 in the second innings was world class.
So are we looking at a new position in the middle order? Are we looking at maybe a different team composition as well, a batter heavy? Or are you going to disclose that only on the 9th?
No, you'll have to see the conditions. You know, you definitely need ammunition in the bowling department. I've always believed in 5 bowlers, and especially when you have an all-rounder now. You know, you have Jadeja, Ashwin who can both bat. So I would definitely go in with 5 bowlers, 2 fast bowlers and 3 spinners.